The idea for what I'll talk about in this video is influenced by this concept I learned from Eastern philosophy. It's called duality. They believe in opposing forces in harmony, and that's what is behind life. And life itself is full of challenges. The moment you are born, the price you pay for life is problems. It's only things that have life that have problems, because life has to be sustained. The moment there's no problem, there's no life. So if you're alive, and life is a gift, one of the greatest skills that you can learn is dealing with life challenges. If you can learn how to deal with the challenges that life throws at you, then you will learn how to live a good life. And there are two approaches you can take to dealing with life challenges: personal challenge, business challenge, money challenge, family challenge, relationship challenge. Any type of problem you come across, it doesn't matter. Two approaches you can take. First is to push through the challenge, to attack the challenge directly. And the second way you can deal with a challenge is not to attack it directly, but to accept it fully. So you're either attacking it or you're accepting it. So let's use this hypothetical situation so you can understand what I'm talking about. Let's assume a snake enters your home. Would you accept the snake as part of your family, or would you get rid of this? Of course, you do everything you can to get rid of the snake. Okay, good. That one is straightforward. But you're in a situation where you find out that you have cancer, you are terminally ill, and there's no way out of it. In a situation like that, since there's no cure, since there's no way to attack this challenge, the only thing you can do is to give up. Nobody likes to motivate people and say you should not give up on life, don't give up on your situation, you should always try and change your situation. Sometimes giving up on a problem frees you, it gives you peace and it gives you freedom. But you need to know what problem to accept and give up on solving, and what problems you shouldn't give up on. There's this quote from a philosopher, his name is Alan Watts, and he said, the desire for a positive experience is a negative experience, and the acceptance of a negative experience is a positive experience. If you desire something, that desire for that thing reminds you that you lack it, so that translates to you as pain. I remember Naval Ravikant said, desire is signing a contract to be unhappy until you get what you want. So by desiring something good, inevitably in the present, we are feeling pain, because you lack that thing. But when you accept a situation, a bad situation, you can somehow turn that into a good experience. When you stop fighting, there's a sense of relief that comes. But you have to stop fighting for situations that are inevitable. And if you cannot change the situation, you have to change yourself. There are problems in life because we have goals. Every goal, just like a coin, right? Head and tail, every goal simultaneously creates a challenge that has to be overcome to achieve that goal. If I want to be a medical doctor, I understand the challenge behind that. Years and years of intense study, more than most other professions. It will take a lot from you to achieve it. So that is the main challenge. So anything you want, a big business, there's a challenge: sleepless nights, unsatisfied customers, paying lots of money. So there are challenges that come with that goal itself. Something good happens when you accept the fact that this is what it's going to take from you. When the outcome is inevitable, something like cancer, you have no choice but to accept it. And once you accept the situation, you now free yourself to do whatever you can with the little time you have. You free yourself to make an alternative choice. I was talking about being a medical doctor. One desires to be a medical doctor, and you look at your finances and you see that that's not possible. Or perhaps maybe you are born in a country where they don't have a university. There is some situation in your family where you cannot get what you want. In that situation, you can see that because you lack the resources to go after that goal, the only choice you have is to change your goal. When challenges cannot be overcome, accept the fact that they cannot be overcome and change your goal. Change what you want. Basically, change yourself. Changing yourself comes with the acceptance of the inevitability of something. There is power in giving up. So I was talking about two, right? You either challenge it or you give up. So how do you know when to give up and when not to give up? How do you know when to change the outside world, okay, to attack your situation, or to change yourself and fully accept your situation? If you can see that this is not possible for me to attain based on what I have, you change yourself. When I say change yourself, I mean you change your goals, change your belief, you change your decision, you change your choice. So how do we know? It goes down to this: what is possible and what is guaranteed. But in a situation where you see that thing that you want is inevitable, or the challenge you are facing, the consequence of it is inevitable, you should fully accept it. But this is the challenge I have personally. For those visionary thinkers, people who are visionaries, leading mankind to something greater, when it comes to situations where the outcome is guaranteed, it takes a leap of faith for them to believe that this outcome is not guaranteed. There's a possibility of changing it, for them to do what they do. I'm reminded of the story of the brothers who invented flying. They were bicycle mechanics. Their design and their research and what they were able to achieve from the experiments that is being used by anything that can fly today, it just looks different and improved. So when these guys were trying to create their plane, right, and fly, one of the brothers said, mankind will not, no. The learned people, they had scientists, they had people who were engineers during that time. They told them that it is impossible to fly. It looks like what they're giving them is a guaranteed outcome. Humans cannot fly, that's a fact. But for those who push humanity forward, you can see that they have to not accept the fact for them to do what they do. They have to not accept the fact. Situations that seem guaranteed, there are sometimes that they are not guaranteed. There's a possibility of changing it. This is the difficult thing about knowing how to approach whatever challenges that you approach. Being able to judge if this challenge is something that can be changed, or this challenge is something that cannot be changed. One of the Uber brothers said, this was why they were making their planes and they were failing again and again. He said, it may take another 1,000 years before man can fly. And shortly after that, they succeeded. Me personally, that's what I believe. Sometimes that line between what is possible and what is inevitable, it's very difficult to draw that line. Because those who achieve the impossible, they take what people believe to be inevitable as false, and there is always a leap of faith. I have seen people, and you've heard people who have cured cancer that ought to have killed them, but they found a cure for it. Not in the hospitals, but in some kind of regimen or treatment or belief system or something else that they were doing. So this is another problem with life. When do you accept your circumstances and change yourself? And when do you attack your challenges head on and try and change the situation? It all comes down to that possibility and what is guaranteed. But sometimes the line is not clear. So that's my take on it.